From the results center here at the Durban ICC. Just some quick breaking news. Alicia, we have unconfirmed reports of ballot boxes that have been found in Lamontville. This is to the south of Durban. We have our teams on the way there to Lamontville, and we'll also be speaking to the IEC about that. So that is one issue that is of concern. We also understand that some political parties are making their way to Lamontville to find out what exactly is happening there. But also the long-awaited results from the Metro are now in, and I heard you just speaking about them now. The updated results at the moment are so far about 49% of the results have come through. Remember now, throughout the day we have been waiting for these results to come through, and at the moment the ANC is leading with 46.78%, followed by the Democratic Alliance with 39.58%, and the EFF they're coming in at 2.83%. Another development from the province, of course, is around coalitions. There are parties that seemingly at the moment do not have an outright majority, and one of those areas is to the far north of KwaZulu-Natal, and that is in Maduba, where the ANC and the IFP both have 18 seats at the moment. Now, to discuss this, I'm joined once again by our political analyst, Dr. Bheki Mngomezulu. Dr. Mngomezulu, thank you very much for joining us once again.
Thank you.
Who is likely to be a kingmaker?
From the look of things, if you look at the results the way they are right now, you have the IFP with 18 seats, and you have the ANC with 18 seats, and then you have the DA. So basically what it means in this instance is that if the DA were to forge relations with the ANC, then the ANC would be in charge of the municipality, working in coalition with the DA. Same way, if the DA were to join hands with the IFP, then the same situation would apply. But then that is just the immediate possibility. The other possibility is that one of the two major parties, in this case the IFP and the ANC, might decide to take one of the smaller parties and then see how many seats those parties have, and then form a coalition with them so that they can then run the municipality without the other party. But it will be very interesting to see which option they will go for.
I'm just looking here on this side of our screen where you see the EFF now is coming out with 3.58% after the Democratic Alliance. Could the EFF be another option for one of the political parties who are in the lead?
The EFF is a very interesting case because from the look of things, I don't see the EFF forming a coalition with the ANC. That one is for me something we shouldn't even consider, because before the election, the EFF had already made it explicitly clear that it was not going to work with the ANC at any point. But then the other possibility then would be the EFF working with the IFP. That one is a possibility. Of course, I don't see that relationship lasting for much longer. It wouldn't be sustained, but at least that one for me is a possibility. But I don't see the EFF joining hands with the ANC.
Other municipalities at the moment where there is no clear majority include Edumbe, Mutu, Escort, and even Josine. So it seems it's going to be quite interesting, Dr. Mngomezulu, exactly what is going to happen in all these municipalities.
Yeah, it's not surprising. Some of us had already anticipated that given the number of smaller parties, given the fact that the EFF has joined the fray, and given that we have a number of independent candidates, this situation was about to happen in any way. So basically, it's not surprising that we have a number of hung municipalities where coalitions then become the only option under the circumstances. So it's not surprising at all.
All right, I'm going to hold you there at Dr. Mngomezulu now and go to another municipality that we have been following very closely, and that is Nkandla, hotly contested between the ANC and the IFP. And my colleague Linda Mkobozi was in Nkandla earlier on today.
Good afternoon, Inanda. We are here at Nkandla municipality. There's been jubilations throughout the morning, and the IFP apparently has taken over this municipality. You must remember in 2011 it was won by a coalition of IFP and ANC, but a year later the IFP took it through a by-election. And now, here I'm having the mayor of Nkandla, who is also the incoming mayor, and he is also the chairperson of the IFP in Nkandla. Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you very much to yourself and your viewers.
A great day for the IFP at Nkandla.
Well, indeed, it's a great day not only for the IFP but even for the citizen of Nkandla, because it's not about the IFP, it's about the life of the people who are living here in Nkandla. As you mentioned, that in 2011 the municipality was lost because of the split of the IFP and the NFP, and no political party won with a majority. As a result, political parties were forced to form a coalition. As a result, the ANC and the NFP led the municipality when a by-election occurred in 2012. That is why the IFP won that ward and won back the municipality. Then I started in the office of the mayor in the past 3 years. Since then, the Nkandla people have been seeing a lot of changes in their lives and also in the infrastructure around Nkandla. For an example, as I speak today, since I'm saying this is not only about the IFP, but it's about the life of the people. This municipality in the past 3 years has been able to assist the orphans, to assist the children from the poor families that are unemployed. With the bursaries, has been able to provide even the bursaries, licenses bursaries, have been able to even bury the indigent families, has gone an extra mile even to fight hunger and poverty through the programs of the cooperatives, wherein we were encouraging communities that are unemployed, that are living at home to form groups, and we trained them, and we also supported them with the infrastructure.
I can see that you have not only retained your wards, but you've taken more wards from the ANC.
Definitely, the IFP have taken back even the wards that were led by the ANC. I can mention Ward 7 and Ward 11. Even the ward where the president of the country resides, which is Ward 14, you'll be surprised that we only lost with 91 votes. In fact, we won most of the VDs. Even the VD wherein the president was voting, the margin was not quite as huge as it was previously. That was showing that the people of Nkandla, they are gaining the confidence, strength from strength.
All right, that was my colleague Linda Mkopozi in Nkandla. Of course, that municipality has been won by the IFP. All right, now behind me, the Provincial Electoral Officer, Mawethu Mozore, is giving an update. Let's cross now to the podium and take a listen at what he has to say.
I don't think I have to indicate anything else. Yes, thank you very much.
All right, it seems we just got the end of Mawethu Mozore's update, but we will certainly be chatting to him. We also still need to find out, of course, about the boxes that were found in Lemontville, so we'll certainly give you an update about that from the IEC. All right, now let's come back to my discussion with Dr. Begum Mngomezulu. Dr. Mngomezulu, the Nkandla. You can see the IFP is already celebrating. It's one of the municipalities that have won. They have won by a majority.
Yeah, the Nkandla municipality is another one of the most interesting municipalities in KwaZulu-Natal for the simple reason that this is the home base of the current president. And given the fact that the president went to vote in that municipality, one would have expected that maybe the local community would sympathize with one of their own coming to join them. and the fact that he didn't use his VIP status but decided to join the queue and be there with them for about an hour waiting to cast his vote, one would have expected that maybe that would count to his advantage and his party's advantage. Unfortunately, then it's not the situation we see happening. I think that is partly because the IFP has been in charge of that municipality, and maybe some services were delivered, I'm not too sure, but then at least according to the electorate, they are basically happy with the current status quo, and they would rather retain it than take the risk of giving the mandate to another political party. So it's very interesting, but indeed it's a reality the IFP is celebrating at Nkandla.
On aside from Nkandla, they also seem to have done well in other municipalities, which they have said in the build-up to this election that they want to regain control of those municipalities.
Absolutely. If you look across KwaZulu-Natal, there are quite a number of municipalities that the IFP has either retained or added into its list. You talk about Nongoma, you talk about Ulundi, Matlabatin and all of that. So basically there are a number of municipalities, some of which of course have always been the IFP stronghold, but then some of them we didn't expect the IFP to win. I think there are a couple of factors that have played into this. One of them being the absence of the NFP, because some of the voters who would have voted for the NFP now ended up voting for the IFP. So basically then it means that of the two major parties, that is the ANC and the IFP, thus far it looks like the IFP has had an edge in terms of attracting supporters from the NFP. As much as some have voted for the ANC, as you can see, the municipalities that the ANC has obtained, but it looks like the IFP has been the main beneficiary in this election.
Another party, the Democratic Alliance, contesting of course for the first time in wards across the country and the province as well, also seem to have made some steps inroads in some of the municipalities that other parties, I mean, for example, the African National Congress has for years tried to make inroads into areas in Zululand, for example.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. The ANC has been trying to appeal to the wider range of voters in KwaZulu-Natal, including, especially around eThekwini, including the previously Indian community, places like Charlesworth, for example, Phoenix and all of that. But then the presence of the DA and its decision to act earlier than the ANC did has paid off, because we've seen the DA making some inroads in those areas which the ANC also wanted to have access to. So basically then I would say the coming into the picture of both the EFF and the DA has in a way affected the plans of the ruling party, that is the African National Congress. As much as it stands to win eThekwini, but then of course it would have wanted to gain more municipalities than is currently the case.
Dr. Mgumezulu, I want to come back to the eThekwini Metro, and of course, as we've been saying, we've been waiting the entire day for the results here in the Metro. The independent candidates, we have not spoken about the independent candidates. They've been contesting 57 wards in the eThekwini Metro, and what we understand is that 5 independent candidates have already won their wards.
Yeah. That one too should not surprise us. The problem with independent candidates is that they leave their old political parties either because they're disgruntled about certain things or because their voices could not be heard, and then they decide to leave. So basically those ones leave out of anger. But then we have another category of independent candidates who were never members of any political parties, but then just decided to go it alone. So in this case, we have 57 of them, and of those 57, only 5 are set to win some seats or some municipalities. Then now the next challenge will be, what do they do with the support that they have? Because there is no municipality that will ever be led by an independent candidate. So what these independent candidates will now have to do will be to take their seats and then go around knocking at the doors of the existing political parties and say, this is what we have, this is what we are putting on the table, what are you offering us? And then depending on what the parties are promising them, they will then say, okay, fine, we are ready to work with you. So basically the fate of the independent candidates is at the hands of the existing political parties.
most of them come from the ANC, and that emanated from the list processes. People were disgruntled and they decided to go on it on their own. Has the ANC, for example, shot itself in the foot by the list processes?
Yeah, in fact, the candidates or the independent candidates that left the ANC and decided to go it alone. For now, it sounds okay because some of them have won certain municipalities. But in the long run, it is going to work to their disadvantage because they can no longer go back to the ANC, either because of their own pride or because the ANC doesn't want them back. But then secondly, it will be hard for them to find new homes elsewhere because chances of them being trusted are very minimal. But thirdly, and most importantly, the fact that they left the ANC out of anger then means that once the anger subsides, then they will be in trouble.
Well, right now we welcome our viewers. Well, right now we welcome our viewers from SABC 2 on this live broadcast on the election results, and we're coming to you from KwaZulu-Natal, the results center at the Durban International Convention Center. In our discussion, we are with a political analyst, Dr. Bheki Mngomezulu, looking at the results that have so far been coming into the province of KwaZulu-Natal, and our focus at the moment is on the eThekwini Metro. It's been a couple of hours, in fact, that the people of KwaZulu-Natal, and more certainly the people here in the Metro, have been awaiting these results, and finally they have started to come in. At the count now, we're at around 49% of the results that have come through, almost at 50%, and the ANC in the Metro currently is in the lead with 46.78%. The Democratic Alliance coming in at 39.58%, followed by the economic, or the EFF rather, at 2.83%. Certainly, Dr. Mngomezulu, it's been a very, very interesting election, I must say, and the results, particularly in our province.
Yeah, very interesting indeed. If you look at the three political parties, that is the ANC, the DA and the EFF, they are basically trying their best to make their presence felt. But one other thing that is of particular importance when it comes to eThekwini in particular is the absence of the IFP. As much as the IFP is showing some progress, or at least it is showing that it has regained ground throughout the province, the same is not true of eThekwini. So that's why they are not in the top three at the moment. So basically, it means that the status quo is going to remain. Of course, right now we have about 50% of the votes in, but then even with the remaining votes, I don't see the IFP coming into the picture, at least at eThekwini.
All right, Dr. Bheki Mngomezulu, thank you very much for your time and your analysis of the results across the province and also the eThekwini Metro. Of course, we will be updating you on that breaking story from Durban, the ballot boxes that were found outside a hall in Lamontville. For now, let's take things back to Pretoria.